Right, for more on this, we're joined by Newzroom Africa senior reporter, Tumaola Mohlaudi. Tumaola, very good afternoon to you. Of course, a really important meeting, especially as we heard Botswana's president speak about South Africa being Botswana's biggest trading partner and the importance of the two countries collaborating.
Certainly, the importance of the two countries collaborating will only deepen those economic ties, something that is very critical in the post-COVID era. We heard how both presidents have emphasized how COVID-19 has really shaken their economies and right down to their foundations, and how a quick economic recovery by they basically framed it under the scope of strengthening economic cooperation, as well as deepening those economic ties in terms of both countries trade-wise. But one of the key factors that was highlighted, especially when it comes to cross-border crime in terms of both countries, bilaterals and cooperation, will be the issue of cash-in-transit heists. President Ramaphosa, they are highlighting that when it comes to cash-in-transit heists, one of the key things that has been observed even by our own, Department of Police, by Police Minister Begikele, is that when you have cash-in-transit heists, cross-border movements between the SADC countries, creating something of a challenge, because you will have, more foreign nationals coming from the SADC regions. Sometimes you have 3 foreign nationals. He made an example, and then 2 South Africans, and saying that there was a problem. And it is certainly on platforms like this one, whereby then you get ministers within those particular clusters talking to each other and trying to see how they can mitigate these particular problems to ensure that that kind of thing doesn't happen. So this was one of the issues that was also highlighted very strongly.
And another part of it, just expanding on the two countries, was the migration issues that President Cyril Ramaphosa spoke of, saying that it's important that there is some form of discussion around that, so they can jointly, as the two countries, bring peace and stability across the region.
Well, of course, and we've seen in recent times, particularly here in South Africa, how the issue of migration and migration challenges has created some sort of social instability in Diepsloot. We saw how, of course, there was the attack where foreign nationals were assaulted and killed, and this would be, of course, paid down to the issue of competition for resources, but also very key to that is that many South Africans in that particular community feeling that crime is, should be put at the doorstep, violent crimes should be put at the doorstep of undocumented foreign nationals. Not that all foreign nationals are engaging in criminal activity, but the point being made, and the point that has also been echoed again by the National Police Department and the National Police Minister, is the issue that when you do have crime scenes being swept, many a time some of the evidence that is collected, including fingerprints, people cannot be found on South African systems, and this also contributes to the proliferation of this criminality. So when you find people moving across so-called soft borders and who are undocumented, it creates a challenge because they cannot be traced. So this is something that the Binational Commission was looking to see how these issues can be strengthened. Again, I take you to another exercise that was conducted by Deputy Intelligence Minister Zizikota just a few weeks ago, where he was on the border with Lesotho and South Africa in the Free State province. And again, he was making that point to say that when foreign nationals go across soft borders without getting documentation, it does create a problem. However, with South Africa's, binational and diplomatic channels, those who have documentation can access the country freely, and this is something that must be strengthened when it comes to shoring up the so-called porous borders. Again, another issue when it comes to criminality would be a well-documented issue of the so-called zamazamas. This would be the illegal miners who have also been involved in very serious criminal activities. This will be including, altercations or engagements with security personnel, including private security at mines, and even at times South African police personnel themselves when they come and try to flush them out, so to speak, out of the mines where they then illegally mine precious metals, including gold. And they are heavily armed, and the question begs then, how do they get those arms and how do they get into the country? Because even when some are arrested and appear before court, they are found to be undocumented. And what the police ministry has also identified is the issue that some of those individuals can be linked to several crimes, but because the fingerprints aren't listed on our national registry, it is very difficult then to link them to other crimes, including cash and transit heists, which was something that was, of course, highlighted here during the briefing earlier.
Absolutely, Dumaula. And also just listening to both presidents, we heard on one end President Cyril Ramaphosa thanking his counterpart for the heartfelt condolences when it comes to the tragedy that's unfolded in KwaZulu-Natal.
Yes, certainly, and the President of Botswana, President Masisi, was very sincere in acknowledging what had happened and saying that the people of Botswana and the government of Botswana is, of course, passing its condolences and its messages of support to South Africa during this time. And many people who have lost their lives during these floods in KwaZulu-Natal certainly has reverberated right across the SADC region in Botswana. And Botswana saying that, it is one of those tragedies that as a sister nation, a nation that has also been part of the frontline states in the fight against apartheid, which forged those close relations with the current administration and the current South African government. Those long-standing ties are ties that are ties of brotherhood and ties of friendship, and which have led to this binational commission. But also the pain of the South Africans who have lost loved ones in those floods is also felt and shared by people of Botswana, who have then sent their condolences via their head of state.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. As Dumaula Muthaudi, they're giving us a sense of what transpired as the two presidents of Botswana and President Cyril Ramaphosa coming together to speak about some of the agreements when it comes to the two countries. And just